what's going on. I just had this quick recollection of things. In NLP, that's neuro linguistics programming. This is I wouldn't want no one to study in the skill to use it on people, but using it to understand like advertisement people, like politicians, like different public speakers. Just it gives you a different way to understand what people are, how they're communicating, and then how they're using like a double layer level of communication. But perfect example of this. Perfect example of that is this pool party cop kid situation. I mean, I watched it, and yeah, it was pretty horrific, pretty rough. I mean, it was a kind of a crazier situation. So look, there was a lot of people there. I think it is unnecessary force that was being used there. And here's another thing. I did recall, like, it's like, man, how many times I've seen all kinds of pool party fights, cookout fights, school football game fights, just fights at the bar, fights. Not every fight, even if it's race motivated, it doesn't turn into a national fucking race issue, a national. Every single little fight now turns into a national issue. And I was thinking, well, how is this? Why is this? It's because there's a neurolinguistics programming technique called chaining. And it's where you chain, like you get a bad thing, like an idea that makes you go, ugh, and you keep constantly repeating this idea to someone, and now you say another idea, and it makes them think back to that idea that is disgusting, that is scary, that is negative, a negative association. And look, this little pool party fight has been turned into a police brutality, gun control, black welfare, black on white race issues. And I mean, if individuals have race attacks on each other, does that mean that it's a widespread attack? Even if it is a wide phenomenon, racism is a real thing. But I mean, it's deeper than, you gotta think, it's beyond race. These people who, even any side you step into the race category, it's kind of an elitist mindset. So it's kind of like this elitist, we are the Aryan, we are the world type mindset that leads to these ideologies in the first place. And they exist within government, they exist within the streets, they exist within ethnic groups and families. You know what I'm saying? It is there because it's pride. People are all proud, man, and they're proud in their errors. You know what I'm saying? When you abuse your power and you're proud about that and you're arrogant about it, that is a great sin. When you're just a racist, man, when you're just pure racist, man, just an asshole, well, that's you're just gonna gloat in it, that's just, it's prideful, so it's bad. Pride come before a fall. And I see how people work both sides of the argument. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wait a second. By engaging in an argument to the degree some people do, actually makes you a co-conspirator of this whole situation. And this one dude was saying, he's like, hey, wait a second. Why is this citizen sitting here watching this dude's back while he tyrannizes people? Because I mean, that was tyrannization, even though, hey, they could have avoided the situation by not fighting. But the police didn't have to get all extreme and crazy. All they had to do was just separate, get in the middle. You guys stay over there. You guys stay over there. If there's any more shit, we'll be back with more people. So y'all better chill it out. That's all the cop had to say. I mean, he could have pulled out his gun and said, bam, bam, let off 2 shots. drove away, squealed his tires, no one would have did shit. They'd have been like, whoa. No one would have went to jail. Wouldn't have been a national security issue. You know what I'm saying? A national stability issue. And it's like this chaining and anchoring. It's like chaining is like they've chained gun control, police brutality, racism. You know what I'm saying? And black welfare into this mix that none of this stuff even wasn't even an issue. But people keep attaching, anchoring, chaining these other separate issues, and they're trying to like use them as a stack, like a stack of pancakes. They're trying to blast you with, like, instead of one pancake hitting you, they're throwing a stack of pancakes, but they're throwing it at you so that you can't see the other stack behind it. Kind of like if you were standing at a train and it was coming straight at you, you could see this box is coming at you, but you couldn't see that there's this big, huge, long snake dragon behind it, coming to just chew your body up under it. You know what I'm saying? And this is the type of situations they're setting up. And I'm seeing now they're spinning it. It's called spin doctors. They're spinning this like a frisbee, buddy. You know, like, you know how a frisbee, when it hits the ground and it bounces up again and bounces up again? This is the kind of like what they're doing with these stories, with these narratives. It's like, I don't know if the government just went out and did this, if these were just operatives just trying to stir it up. Now looking at it, yeah, man, it could be operatives. It could have been opportunists trying to. It's like every time the cops come to now, it looks like someone's trying to bait the cops into some kind of aggressive behavior, which is making the everyone's all on guard. You know what I'm saying? Which even contributes to that guy acting all crazy, but that cop. But I was watching his aggressive Chin Nas. He was like an Aikido-ist, this guy was, man. And he kept trying to bust off like these little nasty maneuvers that could like rip your bones, you rip your arm off. It was just like when I was watching him choke that big fat guy to death. I was like, dude, that's not a blood choke. He wasn't even choking the blood vessels. He was pushing on the windpipe. And that is dangerous. You can't never go straight into the windpipe. I mean, unless you're really trying to hurt him bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, yeah, these cops need to tone it down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you're good. Yeah, you're good. You're good at your job. Well, don't abuse it. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, that's something as a martial artist is like, listen, you don't abuse your superior anatomical knowledge against people that you shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's dishonorable. It dishonors whoever taught you. You know what I'm saying? Who taught you your skills is dishonored when you overuse your ability. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be better for you guys just to, and Kung Fu really doesn't teach you how to beat people and whip their ass better. It teaches you not to fight at all. And I'm noticing they're disobeying the principles here. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I've been in a fight before with people. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like, I'm saying you should avoid fighting. It teaches you to avoid fighting. It doesn't mean you will never fight. It just means you will try to avoid it before you ever even get into anything like that. Same thing with the gun. The way of the gun, of the police officer especially, is to avoid using the gun. You got the gun so you don't have to use it. You know what I'm saying? The soldier, on the other hand, no, he's got to carry his rifle. He's got to be ready to shoot. You know what I'm saying? In case. There's a higher level of mental, fitness you have to do that correctly. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you shouldn't mix the soldier and cop. Because that soldier shouldn't have to just see regular people all the time because it's dangerous, because he's carrying that gun. And he has to. So he's got to be able to hold back. He's only got to be able to fire when it's the enemy. You know what I'm saying? He can't just fire on any old person now. That makes you a criminal and a murderer. So, I mean, but shit happens when you have people out holding guns. So even to take it there is a risk in itself. And you shouldn't take that lightly. And these people they're abandoning all these principles. They're abandoning them. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be to our own peril. I mean, some of these universal truths that have been the same truths that were true back in time are true now, and they do not change. when certain things happen, there's certain bad consequences for them. And in these days and times, it's like people just want to go on tempting fate over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? They want to push it to the brink and beyond. It's like I said, they got us duct taped to the car, got our foot duct taped to the pedal, to the gas pedal, and then we're going and jumping off the end of a pier, and then the car explodes, and then we fall in the water and sink to the bottom of the ocean. That is chaining, anchoring, chaining and anchoring. So it's like basically you take one bad thing and then you start to associate it with all these non-related things, but it's done through subtlety and repetition. And when people watch they tell you something that they know that's going to pique your interest, then they slip in a command or an anchor. You know what I'm saying? These people are awesome at it, man. It's pure magicianry. It really is. It's like just linguistics, word magicianry, and just it's a strategy. But once you're aware of the strategy and you see that they repeat the pattern, they it's like you can catch them. And then it works totally opposite. Now every time they say it, it's like you're, instead of being anchored back to their desired narrative, you anchor back to the fact that it's called manipulation, deception. They're trying to deceive. You know what I'm saying? So it now what normally programs other people only like only adds more wings or wind under your wings. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you try to counteract their magicianry and Jedi mind tricks.